Hi everyone, my name is Wendy. Welcome to my eclectic life. I feel really bad. I wanted to get this video out for a long time, and my mission is to help people help themselves. But if I can't help myself, how am I going to help you, right? And I've had a couple of tough weeks. I've had all this information, and I have ADHD, and I want to get it all out to you, and I know I can't, not in one video. So what I'm gonna do is get out what I can, okay? And I highly recommend everybody, please research everything I say. Research, research, research. We have that ability. Go under DuckDuckGo. That's your best bet, actually. But the thing is, it's at our fingertips. And I spent my life in libraries and bookstores because I was always one of these people. I want to know everything. I'm very inquisitive. And at 17, when I came down with my very rare blood disease that people are getting, the thrombocytopenia, the ITP, and the blood clots, which I just had 4 years ago. I had a blood clot go to my optic nerve. My blood pressure was 240 over 180. Actually, on the 16th of June, 2021 was my 5-year anniversary of being out of a nursing home for an entire year. Okay, so I have a lot of stories about things, and excuse me, I just want to today. I want to give hope. Okay, I had to go to the dentist. A dentist can see me. No, eye doctors couldn't see me. It was too scary without a mask. Okay, but a dentist can see me. So, I have transportation through my health insurance, and the lady that was driving me, we started talking, and she told me how she was bleeding for 20 days and that her friend had been bleeding for 30 days. And this is from people that she has in her car. A lot of people had gotten their arms pricked, okay, and it seems to transmute to people. Okay, there are certain words on YouTube I'm not allowed to say. I'm sure those are a few of them, but basically it's other people are being affected by it. Okay, so I wanted to do some deep research because this is very this is disturbing, concerning, right? I mean, for those of us who haven't gotten it and those who have, all of us have to realize there's something kind of strange going on. So I started learning about how it works, and it's a very, it's a foreign element. It's not FDA approved, just for those who don't know that. And so what the main thing is a spike protein. I'm sure you've heard that word before, and it replicates and duplicates and replicates, and it's called, and it ends up turning into what's called a cytokine storm. So it's inflammation. All this, everything that makes you sick is inflammation. Okay? That is the bottom line. Inflammation in your gut, that makes you sick. You have stomach problems, inflammation in your head, you get dementia and Alzheimer. Inflammation, you have arthritis is inflammation, everything's inflammation, okay? Which is also your immune system. And I don't have much of one. Your tonsils, your adenoids, your spleen, and your lymph system basically are your major immune systems. My tonsils, my adenoids, and my spleen have all been removed. I probably don't think the way everybody does, because the first two, the adenoids and the tonsils, were removed because I had central sleep apnea, which I had no idea what it was back then. But about 10 years ago, when I was finally diagnosed, I stopped breathing approximately, 17 times an hour, up to 54 seconds each time. So, but I've done this work. I've learned breath work and how to move things, and I'll share all that with you because I've had so many problems that a lot of you have. Okay, I have arthritis in places I've never heard of before because I was on 300 milligrams of prednisone every day for 3 years. And that's a lot on your system. So what I want to share with you is I was thinking, why didn't I get COVID then? I have no immune system. I was out every single day without a mask, never wore a mask, because every time I put a mask on, within seconds I started getting nauseous and dizzy and lightheaded. And when you go and you research this stuff and you find out that you have 90 billion viruses inside your body, which a sick person like me obviously has more than. And you also have that many bacteria. This is from what I've read. You can correct me, but it's up there, okay? And we have ways to get these viruses and all the toxins. These are toxins we got to get out of our system. I mean, we have good viruses and bad viruses, good bacteria and bad bacteria. But we got to get it out of our system. And how do we do that? By sweating, right? Urine, poop, and breath, okay? So I do a lot of breath work. So when my oxygen was, very much restricted to me, I would get really sick. So, and excuse me, I have a very loud apartment. I'm on a main street, and I have a patio door, and I always keep it open. It's almost all the way closed, but excuse me, anyway. So I was thinking over, I do a lot of stuff to keep myself healthy. A couple of years ago, with my blood pressure and that blood clot to my optic nerve, which flattened me for 2 months, I saw this doctor, Dr. Eric Berg. I'll put his name down below, and I learned about the ketogenic diet. And I went on it. It's the only thing I've been able to maintain. I don't know, this has been over 3 years. I've gone off of it a little bit, but I still, basically, I abide by it because, you know, it's really easy, actually. And now they're having more and more food out that way. There's tens of thousands of recipes out there. You just substitute almond flour for regular flour and erythritol and stevia. I don't eat sugar. And I don't eat flour. And by the way, here's a little tip for you, okay? I went and got a full body PET scan. A PET scan is where they look for cancer in your body, okay? So I had a full body PET scan a couple of years ago. And they were prepping me for it, and they were shooting me up with some liquid, and I asked them what it was. Glucose. Is when the glucose, when it goes fast to an area, that's an area that could possibly have cancer. Now, what does that tell you, folks? Okay, so anyway, today I want to talk to you about what's been going on and what we can do to help ourselves under these circumstances of today and the situation we find ourselves in, being around people who have and have not gotten the cure, okay? And one of the biggest things I did in the last 2 years, with the ketogenic diet, by the way, in 3 months, I reversed my diabetes. 4 months, reversed my diabetes and lost 30 pounds. Okay, so it's cool. About 2 years ago, I started CBD. I went back to smoking cannabis. I quit for 10 years and ended up going from nothing to like Vicodin, the lowest thing. I was on Oxycontin, the highest dose. That was 80 milligrams 3 times a day with the Soma, I call it Somacos, and fentanyl patches, you name it. And I've been fighting for 1.5 years just to stay on tramadol. And the doctor I had put me on Belbuca, which is another morphine derivative, okay? And I just found out he's terminated, so now I'm starting all over. Always fighting, but isn't that the way it is for us? There are people who are challenged and then people who are not. And the people who have not been challenged, I think, are the people who have feared the most. And they're the ones who went out and did the thing because they don't know what it's like to live in challenges. There's a lady who had ITP, the disease I had. She had it at 22, I had it at 17. We were on different coasts. I'm in California, she's in New York. And she knows. It's scary to think that, it's a little windy. It's scary to think that it could possibly happen again, okay? So CBD, what people don't understand is we have an endocannabinoid system, all right? That means every single part of our body has receptors for CBD. For opiates, they go to what's called the mu receptors. I don't know why it's called the mu receptors. I haven't looked it up. I just know that pain medication goes there, okay? But we have, not only do we have CBD receptors, we actually produce it a little bit. And why else would we have receptors, right? But we have had everything taken away from us in nature. So I wanted to explain a little bit about that and why that works. And I'm also going to explain why our government knows it, okay? So there are 11 major organ systems, all right, in the human body. We have the circulatory, respiratory, urinary, reproductive. intercommunicatory, which is like the skin part, the skeleton, muscular, nervous, endocrine, lymphatic, and digestive systems. And then we have the endocannabinoid system, ECS, okay? And this is the most important physiologic system involved in establishing and maintaining human health, okay? This is amazing. And it was discovered over 25 years ago. And where are these receptors primarily? Okay, they're found in the immune system, digestive system, gastrointestinal tract, and many of the body's major organs. But those receptors are only half the story. Okay, the discovery of CB1 and CB2 prompted a hunt for the body's own cannabinoid-like chemicals that naturally interact with these newly discovered receptors. Why would the body produce receptors if there were no naturally occurring cannabinoids that would bind with them, right? So the first one that they discovered was called anandamide, and it acts on both the CB1 and CB2 receptors, modulating both the central and peripheral nervous system, respectively. Actively in the peripheral nervous system is in regulating the functions of the immune system, okay? Now, I was talking about all animals have them, all the way down to a 600 million year sea squirts, okay? It's the most abundant neuromodulatory receptors in the body. The total number of endocannabinoid receptors in the body is believed to be greater than all other neuromodulatory receptors found in the body combined, including receptors for the neurotransmitters dopamine and serotonin. Okay? Anandamide alone has the most receptors in the brain and is critical for maintaining a healthy central nervous system. It is found that the ECS has been found to play a role in many diseases. They know this. Everything from neurodegenerative diseases and disorders to rheumatoid arthritis and cancer. And they've shown changes in the endocannabinoid levels and greater receptor expression. This suggests that the ECS may be an effective target for restoring balance in the body and promoting good health. Of course it would. And they're suggesting it's a deficiency would be obviously a reason why people might be really sick all the time. I know for me it was huge. All of a sudden I couldn't with my hands and I paint and the cramps. And all of a sudden I vaped it. And I'm going to put down the company that I've been using for a few years. I was an affiliate. I don't have my thing on there. But you know what? Sign up for the newsletter, and they give coupons. And so, you can put in the notes my name if you like, or Well, W-E-L. But the only reason I'm putting down that company is because I know they're really good. And I did a lot of research before I would even go there. So there's a lot of crap out there, and that's what I want to go to next. The government knew this. I have papers from the government knowing way back in 2020 that CBD was a therapy for the lung problems, for breathing problems, because it fixes the lungs. I have a report. This was from I think the University of Chicago and Medical College of Georgia. And what they found out, okay, this is the important thing, because we know the spike protein. Now, I will tell you, scientists have all said to drink white pine needle tea. White pine needle tea. It has a lot of antioxidant properties, and apparently that's what they suggest. However, I have found that CBD has shown to have effectively eliminated viral RNA expression, which included RNA coding for the spike protein. Okay? It was also found that the SARS-CoV-2 and CBD triggered significant changes in cellular gene expression, such as the expression of several transcription factors. Further analysis of host cell RNA expressed that the virus-induced changes were almost completely reversed, though Rather than the cells returning to a normal cell state, the CBD plus virus infected cells resemble those treated with CBD alone. Okay? It causes homeostasis. Since we have it all over our body needs it everywhere to start functioning properly. And one day I'm going to list all my diseases. I have Sjogren's syndrome, I have spinal stenosis, a couple different ones. I have every single vertebrae in my back and my neck is completely screwed up. Both my knees are supposed to be replaced. I can do more now. I'm 63 years old. I just turned 63, Flag Day. And I could at 20, okay? I'm doing something right. So another critical finding, researchers discovered with that CBD had effectively reversed the triggering of a hyperinflammatory response. This is important. Also known as a cytokine storm, which is brought on by the presence of the virus, restoring cells not to a pre-viral level of inflation, but a state of if the cells had been treated with only CBD. This study completed near the end of 2020 by the Dental College of Georgia. I find that interesting. Since they're the ones, that's why my dentist can see me. They know viruses are in our body and they're in our mouth. She wasn't at all concerned, any more than I was, because it's a normal state. I knew when my spleen was removed at 20 years old that if I ever got viral pneumonia, I'd die. So, I mean, for me, it was no big deal. But for the rest of my family, they've gotten this, and I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how to help them, but I can help you. Hopefully somebody here. And I have a lot more to do. This is just the first thing that I think everybody needs. Our body obviously needs it because we produce it, and it does so much for us. It really does. And these cytokine storms, they are the principal causes of the death resulting from COVID-19 infection and every other infection, because the cytokine storm is when when the inflammatory response just gets out of control, and that's when you get sick. So for me, I know my body. As soon as I start getting a little bit sick, my ear starts hurting a little bit, my throat a tiny bit, I know, jam up with more supplements, rest. I take a lot of supplements, and I don't expect anybody to take what I take. But I will give you some really good advice that has worked for me, and it's sound, things that you can look up, okay? CBD is a must. I realize it's a must, and it's the only thing that stops that spike protein, okay? That is a big deal. I am so excited to share this because you can't even find it. The information's buried. Apparently Trump had put in a whole new bill in 2018 for the hemp farm workers, and you know what they did? Because see, a couple of weeks ago, Biden said he was going to make CBD generic. I'm like, what? I don't get this. Why would they? It makes no sense. I mean, I found on the Library of Congress, medical library, all this information that they knew about this, and how they've known for years the inflammation. That's why they've been with cannabis for 50 years. They've been trying to make it synthetic, but you can't beat nature, folks. You can't. God's perfect. So that's great news, because I think that once people start ingesting and getting this going with everything else that I think is really important, like number one, take off the mask. Never wear a mask again. If you're forced to, keep your nose, whatever. If you looked at it, why is it so dirty? Because these are all the dirt and toxins inside of us, folks. Where is it going? It's kind of going back inside of us. I think that's why a lot of people have died. Because I know if you're already sick and you're doing this and you're depriving yourself of that much oxygen, people aren't, they've done tests with surgeons. They really have. It's not as good as they're saying, okay? And a virus is so tiny, it goes right through the mask. They know it. It is a cold virus. Coronavirus is part of the cold family. So that's important to know, all right? And there's a lot of other things we're going to talk about as far as our blood. I do want to say what helped me. Now, when I used to be in Jamba Juice, I used to read everything. I've got ADHD, and I found out that wheatgrass had almost the identical molecular structure as hemoglobin, and I have blood problems. I just got a clear, perfect blood 2 months ago in April. First time, folks. I can show you blood tests where my lymphocytes and my neutrophils, they were off the chart. I have everything everything everywhere. The platelets were way too high, which is not good, then you're clotting. So, but because chlorophyll and chlora, these greens, I take them in supplement form. I'm telling you, I did that. Really, it makes a difference. It builds your blood, okay? And you have to build your blood to make it healthy. And I found out something today. I haven't researched it yet enough, but I don't even have it. But I heard about nitric oxide that you can get in powder form, maybe pill form. And what that does is opens up your vessels. Cardiovascular problems are happening, especially to young men. And this will help open up the vessels and so that the oxygen can flow all the way through your body. But research that. So those are the three things for today. We have CBD, we have chlorophyll, or chlora, or wheatgrass. And you need to do it like a couple times a day. But don't go overboard on everything. Do it so that you feel good, okay? Water, water, water. I use distilled water. I swear by it. One day I'm going to take a picture as soon as I can figure this out and show you the dirt and stuff after every gallon of water. You'd be thoroughly disgusted. We cannot assimilate minerals from water that's reverse osmosis because it comes from rocks. It does not come from plants. We can only assimilate plant minerals, right? Make sense? So, this is long. Thank you all for staying this long. I hope this helps people. Please share it. Please let people know there is hope, okay? Because this is not out there yet. You can go to Google and say CBD and COVID, and you will find a whole lot of stuff there. That's how I was guided to go there, okay? And I'm excited about this because I know that's going to make a big difference for everyone. I'm going to come back and talk to you about a lot more things we can do for our health and about what's going on in the world, because I do know. And I have a lot to share, and I'm going to get better at this, even with my doggies yelling outside. So I got to go. Thank you so much. God bless you, and God bless our country.